Hi, welcome to Men in the Kitchen. Today we're going to be working on these healthy breakfast egg muffins. My name is Health Coach Michael and this is Health Coach Adam. And today we have a great way to meal prep for the week here. Everyone's always looking for these quick and easy meals, and what I like about this, it just takes 5 minutes to really prep all of the ingredients. It's something that you can involve the whole family with if you have children that can help mix the eggs, kind of cut some of the ingredients, really get everyone involved in the process here. And so we'll go ahead and start getting into our demonstration here. So first thing you're going to need, 12 eggs here, 2 peppers. I like to go with the yellow and red peppers here. You need a half a cup of spinach, and we're going to have some olive oil, some salt and pepper to taste here. And so we'll go ahead and get started here by mixing up some of the ingredients.
All right, so I'm gonna let Michael mix up some ingredients while I talk a little bit about breakfast. You know, breakfast is they call it the most important meal of the day for a reason. You know, if you break it down, breakfast, you're breaking that fast that's happening when you're asleep. You know, you're not eating anything. And you want to start the day with breakfast because you're really going to start your body off with some good nutrients, and it's going to really help that metabolism. You're going to get off to a great start. The beautiful thing about a breakfast like this is that you're getting a good combination of things here. You have some good carbohydrates, you're getting some good fats, some lean protein to start off your day. And they've shown when you're eating breakfast on a consistent basis, you know, it's really good for, you know, weight management. You're energizing your day. You're going to have more, you know, focus and clarity and energy that you really need. And if we're skipping meals, typically we might be slowing our metabolism down a little bit, and you may feel hungrier during the day, and that may tempt you to eat things that you shouldn't, things that are higher in simple carbohydrates, things that are gonna, you know, put you in a bad position where you're storing fat and stuff like that.
And so at this point, you're going to want to preheat your oven at 350 degrees. You're also going to want to get out a pan, put it on medium, and I'm going to add probably just a cupful, the capful of the olive oil in here, and spread it around a little bit. When you're cutting up the peppers, probably do about half an inch. I like to get them nice and small there. You're going to put them into the pan here once it's nice and heated, just to soften them up a little bit here. So just stir them occasionally here as well. So then next we're going to go ahead and cut up the spinach here. So the spinach, you're going to do about half a cup, but sometimes I'll put even more, maybe a full cup there. The spinach will really cook down. So what I like to do is kind of have it nice and rinsed, bunch it a little bit up together so it's nice and compact, and then just cut small strips of it here so it's nice and broken up here.
All right, and you could do a kale here if you wanted to. Sometimes for taste, you know, if you're adding these dark greens, which are, you know, they have lots of benefits. I think spinach for me has a better taste. I'm not a huge fan of kale, but you know, you could mix it up a little bit and do something a little bit different. Let's while he's doing that, let's talk about eggs a little bit. There's been some rub about eggs and cholesterol. So with eggs in the past, it was like you need to really watch your egg consumption, especially if you have cholesterol issues. And there's always this question of, you know, are eggs a healthy choice? Eggs are a healthy choice. We're looking at the blood cholesterol here. So if you have cholesterol issues, a lot of that comes from actually saturated fat that you find a lot in, you know, different animal protein sources. And eggs do have a little bit of saturated fat in them, but they also have some good fats. And interestingly, eggs have 7 grams of protein in them. The egg white has 4 of those 7 grams, and the yolk has 3 of the grams. So if you are worried about your cholesterol, you should always, consult with your doctor to see if it's okay for you to have eggs in your diet. But you could always resort to using more of the egg whites than the whole eggs, and just kind of take the yolk out of that equation there. You do want to be careful when you're buying the egg whites. If you get something like an egg beater, they do add some yellow food coloring and things to those. You can buy cartons of the egg whites where it's just solely egg white, and that's the way you want to go.
Okay. And I like to mix my eggs in a measuring cup like this, so it's nice and easy to pour into our pan here. So before we pour anything in here, we really want to coat it with some olive oil to prevent any sticking of the eggs here. So just get it nice and around in here. And then once your veggies are done, they should just be pretty soft here and really cooked down. You're just going to add it to our little bowl here.
I like the colors too. Usually when things are more colorful, they have lots of good vitamins and minerals that we need. They're really nutritious, full of antioxidants and things.
Yeah, and feel free to put any other types of vegetables you want in here. Some people will put tomatoes or anything. Really, it's a good way to sneak in vegetables here. Okay, so once we're done here, we're just going to pour them into each little hole here. Probably about 3/4 way for each one. The eggs are going to expand once they are heated up here. So we're going to take this and we're going to put it in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. I would check on it maybe 20 minutes in. Just take a little knife in the middle and just make sure there are no runny yolks in there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in.
All right, well, let's bring out the finished product so we see what these look like.
And so here's our finished product here. You can see they have plenty of vegetables in there. So the serving size is 2 of these egg muffins. It's a great grab and go breakfast option for you here. So about 160 calories, like we said, about 14 grams of protein in them as well. So this would, be 6 days worth of breakfast in 25 to 30 minute time here.
All right. Well, great. So hopefully you found this helpful. This is a good option for breakfast. We're going to share some more ideas with you later in our presentation for lunches and dinners and snacks.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us here today.